This is Rob Carbone, and you're listening to BD4.
He loops out to left field. Going to be a tough play. Jeter on the run, makes the play. Oh, flies into the stands. Oh, what a play by Derek Jeter. There it goes. Deep to left, really deep. See ya. Oh, my goodness. What a shot by Aaron Judge.
Oh, way back left field. You gotta be kidding me. Goodbye, home run. I swear to God, you gotta put four fingers up. Torres comes to the plate.
See ya. A home run by Derek Jeter. Oh, what a ball game. A game-winning walk-off home run by Derek Jeter. He is Mr. November.
This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the rope. Goodbye, home run.
Is high, not as far. It is gone. A tremendous home run to the back end of the grandstand in left field. The Sanchino. Oh, that Gary is scary.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Ah! Yankees win.
I mean, at some point, you do think it has to get better, right? But then you look at the fucking schedule, and here we are. There are 3 games left in the regular season, and the New York Yankees are a couple games over 500. 32-25 at the moment. 7 games above 500 with a very, very soft schedule, you know? Played the NL East a bunch of times. You know, Phillies are no good. The Nationals have underachieved. The Mets are a joke. Played the worst team in baseball in Boston a bunch of times. Played the Baltimore Orioles, who have improved but are still no good, a bunch of times. I mean, the only competition the Yankees have faced are the Tampa Bay Rays, who I think are legit, so I'll give them that for losing to them, for getting bitched around by them. And the, improving but still pretty mediocre Toronto Blue Jays, who we just lost 3 out of 4 of now. It's fucking incredible. It is incredible. I hate to curse, but I do it because it just comes naturally with this fucking team. Here we go. Oh boy. What's going on, everybody? Your host, Rob Carbone, coming at you with another episode of BD4. Another episode of the podcast tonight of BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yeah. I don't know anymore, man. I don't know. I sit here, I watch these games, I bitch and moan about it on social media, but you know what? What I say is the damn truth. And I'm sorry, but I say it all the time, and I'm correct all the time. Nobody wants to say it, so I'll be the one to say it. And I say it every year. This team's not winning a World Series. And we're going to get into all of that tonight, guys. We will get into all of that. I hope everybody's doing well, though. Yes. It is October soon. A little more than a week. Actually, yeah, about a week until we get to October. I love the fucking Halloween season, postseason baseball. Although, Yankees are... But no, just the October, Halloween season is my kind of year. From here on out until the end of the year is my favorite. Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Oh man, I call it. Oh, somebody told me. I think I saw like a meme. Hollow Thanksmas, people call it. I love it. I love it. College football is coming back. Obviously the NFL is on, but you got postseason baseball, and then you got the Halloween movies on TV. By the way, undoubtedly, without a doubt, Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween franchise is by far the best horror series, of all time. So if you can't get behind me on that, we're going to have issues. But that's my favorite time of year, and we're coming up on it. Michael Myers, knifing people. Oh man, I love this time of year. Friday the 13th is always good. It's always fucking on during the Halloween season, which technically is just a horror movie. It's not really a Halloween movie, but it's always on during this time of year anyway. Jason's, awesome. I just love this time of year, man. It's my time. I don't know. It's my time. And then you still have, a bonus this year because of COVID, but the NBA playoffs now going on, adding in a little fun to the mix of the other sports right now. Playoffs have been good. I think the Lakers and Nuggets, unless they finished up, they were playing earlier. I don't know if they finished tonight. As I'm recording this, it is a Thursday night, September 24th, I think. And the Yankees just lost again. But no, the NBA playoffs have been good. I've been placing a bunch of wagers on these games with DraftKings. Now, DraftKings doesn't pay me to say that. This is not a promotion, but it'd be great if they could. But I placed my first parlay on Wednesday, and it was Miami to win, and I had 210.5 combined points, and I got it, and I won it. Pretty big too. It was a pretty big earning for me, for a broke college student. But yeah, it was a good game. Miami to win, and for there to be at least 211 points in. Miami had the lead for the majority of the game. The Celtics kind of made it interesting in the third period, where Jason Tatum went off. But they had the lead. I was pretty sure they were going to win. What was very scary was I thought they were going to come short of the 211 points. But again, Tatum poured in 16 in the third period. That helped. Tyler Hero, who had 35 points total, went off in that fourth quarter. That helped me a lot. There was a lot of scoring in that second half. Thankfully, after a dry spell of offense and a lot of defense in the first half, there was enough offense in the second half for me to just hit that mark. But usually I will love defensive games unless I've got money on it. If I have money going on the over, I'm going to need them to score. And they finally did. And so that was pretty fun. It feels good to win a parlay. The Lakers and Nuggets have been fucking fun. Actually, I want to check really quick. May as well check right now to see who is, who's winning that game or series. Let's see. Let's see if we can find Lakers. Okay, so it's halftime, and 57-53. Guess 2 minutes before halftime. So Lakers, I think the Lakers have this one pretty much wrapped up. It doesn't seem like they are phased by the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray, fun story. Nikolai Jokic, is that how you pronounce his name? Fun story. Cool players to watch. But I don't take the Nuggets seriously at all, especially against a team like the Los Angeles Lakers when you have LeBron and AD in the front court. Now the Lakers may not be the deepest team in the best shooting team, but they have the size, they have the experience, and just I don't see it in the Nuggets. So I think it's going to be Lakers Heat, which would be really, really cool. LeBron James and his team that he cowardly ran to this past offseason versus LeBron James's first team that he cowardly ran to. So that's going to be cool. If it happens. Lakers Celtics would have been cool. I was kind of hoping for that. The two winningest franchises playing each other. But the Celtics keep underachieving, man. They have all this talent year after year, but they keep leaving early in the postseason. And my buddy Leo, who was on episode 158, this is episode 159, but Leo, who was on 158, brought up a good point. He said if the Celtics keep going home early, and they do so again this year, Brad Stevens may have to be looked at when talking about firing coaches. May have to be his turn. All these coaches are getting fired around the league. May have to be Stevens' turn. He's gotten all this praise, but, now you look at it, take a step back of the big picture here. What is it, his third or fourth year of coach of the Celtics? He's not gotten it done. And he's got all the talent in the world. You look at this roster: Tatum, Hayward, Brown, fucking You had Rozier over the past couple years. This year you have Kemba Walker added to the mix. Can't get it done. I don't know. Just something to think about. School started for me, getting out of the house. Now work has also begun for me. So I'm finally staying busy. I'm finally out of the house consistently. That stay-at-home shit didn't last long, thankfully. Well, it lasted two months, I'd say, but finally got my job back, and my school has begun classes on campus, so I can leave the house. Oh, sorry, you can't keep me inside for long. I can't live in fear like that for I'm not even gonna get into this, discussion, but yes, I'm finally glad to get out of the house. Very glad. All right, well, let's head to break, guys. Let's head to break, and I guess when we get back, we'll discuss the New York Yankees. Yay! All right, all right. Be right back. Be right back. Plug. Hey guys, really quick, I just want to remind you that if you go to my website at nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com, you can find me on social media. You can find the links to my podcast and my blog. So that's all you got to do. Just go to my website, go to nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com, and there will be a page that displays all of my information. All right, guys, thank you. Let's get back to the show. So Michael King, not Garrett Cole, took the mound for game 1. And Cole pitched game 2. Yankees lost that game 5 runs to 11. Michael King pitched, and like he usually does, he'll flash some kind of brilliance for a few innings, show some kind of solid pitching, but then he implodes, and that's what he did again. His final line, 2 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts. The Yankees defense did make 2 errors, but King didn't pitch well again. He really just didn't have it, And offensively, the Yankees, 5 runs, but it was kind of one of those garbage time scoring binges where outside of a Gio Urshela RBI single in the second and a Gio Urshela RBI 6-3 ground out in the 7th, the Yankees just didn't do much. It was just a meaningless garbage time fake comeback, I guess you can even call it, if you even want to call it a fake comeback, in the 9th inning, where they loaded the bases for Mike Tauchman, who had a bases clearing 3-run double. But that was it. That made it 11-5. So, the Yankee pitching just couldn't get it done. King was pretty bad. Lasagna was bad. Nelson, all of them got pounded. It just fucking... It was ugly, and that was pretty much all she wrote for game 1. So that was fucking... I don't know, man. It's not fun watching this team just struggle. And against Toronto always seems to have their number now. They're becoming the Rays, and the Rays have become a step above what they were. See, these highlights aren't even fucking worthy of watching because it's just all Toronto here. So let's just skip ahead to game 2. Game 2, again, here is Garrett Cole making his final start of the regular season for the Yankees. And he was again dominant. I think 3 starts in a row now, maybe 4. I think 3. Where he went 7 innings. Let up just 5 hits, 1 run off a solo bomb by Biggio, but didn't walk a batter and had 7 strikeouts. The defense didn't make an error for him. And the offense, they actually backed him up. The Yankees won this game 12-1. So good pitching, good hitting. 12 runs for the offense on 15 hits, not a single home run, which is good to see. It was good to see, at least at the time, the Yankees being able to win a game without having to go deep. 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, and 8 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Again, because they weren't relying on the long ball and they were stringing together hits. Top of the first, off of Tanner Roark for Toronto, the Yankees scored. Hicks had an RBI triple, and then Hicks ended up scoring on a wild pitch from Roark, making it 2-0 after 1. In the 4th inning, Gio I'm sorry about that. My tablet froze for a good 5 minutes, so I had to pause the video. But where were we? Was it Gio in the fourth? Yeah, it was Gio Urshela in the fourth inning with an RBI single to make it 3-zip Yankees. Again, the only blemish the Blue Jays could do was a Biggio solo shot off of Cole to make it 3-1 in the fourth. But in the top of the fifth, the Yankees came and they did their job again offensively. And this time it was Aaron Judge with an RBI single, and Hicks, who had a 3-hit night and a 2-hit night with 3 RBIs. He comes through. Hicks gets the a 2-run single to follow up Judge's single. This is off of Hatch, a pitching change, and Hatch comes into the game. Hicks gets a 2-run single off him, and Talkman gets a 1-run single off Hatch, and this makes it 7-1. Eighth inning off of Anderson, who was the infamous pitcher to let up 5 home runs in the inning about a week ago. Anderson gives up an RBI single to Gardy in the eighth, and Higgy has a 2-run double off of him in the eighth. This makes it 10-1 Yankees. So yeah, that was it. And then I think 3 more off of Font in the ninth. Torres an RBI single, and then Gio another RBI infield single. But that was the score there, 12-1. That was pretty much it, and it was good for a night at least to see the Yankee offense hitting the way they should be hitting. Not totally relying on the long ball. And that was game 3. That was game 3 for you. That was game 2. That was game 2 for you. Game 3, might as well just get into it right now, was last night. Masahiro Tanaka pitched. And when I say last night, again, as I'm recording, it's Thursday. I'm talking about Wednesday. Masahiro Tanaka pitched. Pitching on Wednesday, giving up 5 runs. Giving up 5 runs through 4 innings, 8 hits. 3 of those runs were earned, and walked 3 batters, struck out 5. So Tanaka pitched pretty shitty, okay? But the defense was the story of that game, how sloppy the Yankees were. 4 errors in the infield on Wednesday. 4 errors from the infield. Gary Sanchez had a pair. Torres committed an error. Luke Voit committed an error. And their offense wasn't much better. So no pitching, no defense, no offense. You're going to get a blowout like you do, 14-1. 1 run from the offense, 14 hits, 5 walks, 9 Ks, and 1 for 7 in scoring position versus Robbie Ray. Yankees got their only unearned run of the game through his 4 innings with a Luke Voit third to home on a pass ball from Jansen. That was about it. That made it 2-1 in the second. But from there, it was all Toronto. Again, Tanaka sucked. Sessa sucked. Tyler Lyons, who was on the lineup card in this one, he sucked. and Eric Kratz had to pitch for the second time in 4 fucking days. And he obviously gave up another home run. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, it was just a joke. When you got Eric Kratz, just I'll get to him later and that whole thing. But as you see here on the screen, if you're watching the podcast, just a fucking total abomination from the Yankees. Game 4. All right, game 4 was tonight. Jordan Montgomery takes the bump. Oops, we're on the wrong screen. I don't have highlights for game 4. Jordan Montgomery takes the bump, and, he's solid for a bit. Goes 5 1/3 innings. Pitches 1 out into the 6th before Aaron Boone gives him the hook. 6 hits, 3 runs, thanks to the relief pitching in this one. No walks and 8 strikeouts. Defense didn't make 4 errors this time. They only made 0. But the offense, again, could not come through. 1 run on 7 hits, 5 walks, and 7 strikeouts with a 1 for 7 runners in scoring position clip. This was against Ryu, where the Yankees just could not figure him out this time around, getting no runs across against him through his 7 innings of baseball. In the bottom of the second, it already began. The shitstorm began where Vlad Jr., who just kills the Yankees, really everybody in that lineup kills the fucking Yankees. Jr. goes deep off of Montgomery for a solo bomb in the second. To make it 2-0, though, after the 3rd inning, it's Bichette with an RBI double. But 2-strike, 2-out RBI double off of Monty. In the 6th inning, the Yankees have an opportunity where they get first and second on base with nobody out. But of course, as they usually do not come through at all, and they strand them. Bottom of the 6th comes, and Montgomery gets a strikeout to Hernandez, then lets up a single to Grichuk, and that's when Boone pulls him for the biggest choke artist you could have in Adam Ottavino. And he does what he does best. A single to Vlad Jr., a strikeout to Gurriel, but then a 2-run double to fucking Alexandro Kirk, throwing his slider, which got banged around tonight. That made it 4-0 Toronto. And then here, top of the 7th, we've got Judge pinch hits for Frazier, but he flies out. Top of the 8th, Hicks and Stanton walk off of Bass. Torres pushes them to 2nd and 3rd. So with the fielder's choice. So 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. What do the Yankees do? Gio comes through with a 2-out RBI single through the right side of the infield. That's fun. And then Clint walks. So you got some runners on now again. An opportunity with the bases loaded. Gary Sanchez pinch hitting for Higashioka at the plate. He goes deep to the warning track, but flies out. And that was it. The bottom of the 8th, Chapman pitches a clean inning to keep the Yankees in it. He fucking learned a splitter, it looked like. But the Yankees couldn't do nothing in the 9th. And that was fucking your series, folks. That was it. That was all I fucking had written down. Because it's just fucking... It's the same shit, man. It's the same shit whenever the Yankees do lose. It's erratic offense that just finds these cold streaks. And it's pitching that finds a way to screw it up, or poor fundamentals in the field. And here we are, sitting 32-25, not even clinching 2nd place yet. And there's 3 fucking games left where anything can happen in 3 games. I just want a win streak or something, and there's 3 games left. I hate entering postseason frigid. I hate it. And I know it doesn't really, it doesn't always translate, and it's not like it's going to automatically make the Yankees cold in the postseason, but it just makes me feel better. Okay. And just thinking, it's been such a disappointing regular season, with a mediocre record, do you really see the Yankees on a down year winning this postseason? I don't see it. Fucking shit. I mean, we got bitched around this regular season, guys. We got really bitched around, especially by Tampa, who just owned us. They clinched. Tonight's loss against Toronto gave them a playoff berth, so they clinched. I mean, fucking, we're just handing out free passes to everybody. The other night, man, when Eric Kratz pitched for a 2nd time in 4 games, the booth found it funny, of course, because fucking, of course they do. David Cohn loves it. Cohn was even talking about a scenario where fucking Kratz would pitch in October. Yeah, no thanks. I'm good. But I fucking hate it. You see the Yankee dugout in La La Land laughing over there. He's throwing knuckleballs. Oh my God. Listen, man, when you got a fucking 55-year-old throwing relief innings for you 2 times in the past 4 days at the time, you've got issues. And you're talking about pitching him in the postseason to save arms? I don't care how or why. You've got fucking issues. Okay, that shouldn't ever. If I was on the Yankees and I had to fucking watch a 55-year-old catcher, 55-year-old 3rd-string catcher who nobody picked up, fucking pitch for you twice in 4 days, I'd be fucking livid. Some shit's going out. Some shit is going down. Something's wrong. Something's fucking wrong. I'd be tired of that shit. I'd be pissed off, not laughing, not giggling. That's not cute to me. Maybe cute to you, but that shit doesn't fucking fly with me. I can't stand that shit. For a couple of seconds in that Boston game where he first did it, sure, it was cool. But I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of the fucking bullshit. Speaking of bullshit, these bullshit motivational quotes we're getting from Aaron Judge every year about how we're locked in. We're only looking at the title. It's a failed season without a ring. Okay. It's time to walk the talk. It's time to walk the talk. Because right now, fucking 4 years into this process, all I see from Judge, from the Yankees, is them talking the talk, but they're never walking it. Let's go. The postseason starts on October 5th. That's about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks. And I fucking, I can't say I'm very I can't say I'm very optimistic here. Where do we start? The lineup, the rotation, the bullpen, the fucking the fielding, the bench, the managers managing. Fucking shit. We'll start with the lineup. But we already know my take on the lineup, man. First of all, I don't like the fucking whole Hicks and the 3-hole thing. Can we stop doing that? Can we stop? I know tonight, I don't think he was there. He was in the 3-hole tonight. We do it too much. I don't get the Hicks and the 3-hole shit. I don't get it. He walks a ton, but hits none. Sure, he may be on a cute little, hitting binge late in last couple of games, but come on. He's a Mendoza line hitter. Maybe a little above that. Okay, he'll sit in the 220s, 230 tops. And he's not going to hit you over that. He's a below average batting average guy who gets on base a decent amount because he walks and does nothing but walk. That's not a 3 hitter. The baseball wasn't. If you know baseball, the 3 spot is for the well-rounded hitter, right? That all-around hitter. A little bit of pop, a little bit of contact, that well-balanced guy. The number 9 spot is a good spot for Aaron Hicks. And I'm not just saying that to rip him. That's a good spot. It's like the second lead. It's a spot where you're not good enough to lead off, but you're good enough to be that second leadoff guy, right? He walks a lot. He gets on base, but he doesn't hit enough to be at the top of that order. He should be 9. I think batting Aaron Hicks 9 would really benefit Aaron Boone. It'd make him look really good. But it just seems like sometimes we're getting fucking trolled with these lineups. We've had Gardy in the 3-hole before. We've had Mike Ford countless amounts of times before we sent his ass to the alternate site in the 3-hole before. It's like these analytics are trolling us. Are you serious with this shit? Is it analytics? I don't know. But the 3-hole is not for guys like that. Gleyber Torres, I wouldn't mind in the 3-hole. He's heating up. He's been better, since he returned from the injury. But he's a 3-hole type of hitter. Gio Urshela, even better option right now this season. Hitting fucking 320 with extra base hit pop. Put him in the 3-hole. Makes contact. Aaron Judge, I wouldn't hate that in the 3-hole. Luke Voigt, wouldn't hate that in the 3-hole. Not Aaron Hicks, not Brett Gardner, Mike Ford. No. Somebody who makes contact, has good bat-to-ball skills, and has a decent amount of pop while walking here and there. That should be your 3 guy. Gary Sanchez, they were talking about him now potentially becoming a part-time player, splitting time with Higashioka due to Sanchez's negative play and Higgy's positive play of late. Gary's 140-something on the season with an OPS in the low 600s, and he plays terrible defense. Higgy, a better batting average, a better OPS, and, I'd like to think at least mediocre defense, at least better defense than Gary. And, of course, the ERA when he catches is a run lower, almost 1 run lower than it is when Gary is catching. And more importantly, they actually mentioned, they mentioned it on the broadcast tonight. It's more important that we're seeing the organization kind of change their tune a little bit, publicly too. Aaron Boone, Cashman, they used to say it all the time to the press. He's our guy. We know he's talented. We're not going to make any changes. But you talk to them today, it's a little different tone. It's game by game, they say now. I believe that was the term that Aaron Boone used in the presser earlier today. Game by game. So maybe he's, that's a positive to me, that we're not just sticking with him no matter what, because he's not been working. He's not been doing it this year, man. It's not cutting it. But the fucking lineup, and my biggest gripe with this lineup, it is Sanchez, Judge, Stanton in just one lineup. Having Sanchez, Judge, Stanton, you can even throw in Voigt, Frazier, all these sluggers in one lineup. Yeah, sure. They're going to display an amazing, prestigious amount of power. Of course. They'll even, walk a ton. They'll hit a lot of home runs. The OPS the numbers will be there in the regular season. Of course, the numbers are going to look flashy when you have all these sluggers. So, on paper, they look dominant. But man, I'm telling you, you get to the postseason, it's a different game. You're facing elite pitching in the postseason. You're not facing the Blue Jays, the fucking Red Sox, the Orioles, the Phillies, the Mets. You're not facing those mediocre clubs. You're facing teams with elite pitching. You're facing the Chicago White Sox, who've got Keuchel, Giolito, Dunning, and the 7th best bullpen in the league. You're facing, in terms of ERA, you're facing the Minnesota Twins, potentially, with Jose Berrios, with Kenta Maeda, with the 5th best bullpen in the MLB. You're facing the Oakland Athletics. Their number one guy's pretty good. What is it, Bassett? But, they've also got the best bullpen ERA in baseball. You're facing Tampa Bay. Obviously, they've got Glasnow, Snell, Morton, and the 4th best bullpen in the league. You're facing Cleveland, even without Clevenger. They've got Carrasco. They've got Bieber. They've got Plesac's kid. They've got the 6th best bullpen. So you're facing fucking actual pitching in the postseason. You're not facing these, 3rd tier, 4th tier, Mama Lukes who just fucking lob fastballs for you to pad your stats. No, you're facing guys that are going to strike you out. You're facing guys with good stuff, with spin rate, with actual pitching talent and wits that are going to attack you in the postseason. You're not facing no more scrubs. So you're not just going to have these barrage of games where you go off on pitching, on poor pitching. No, it's the postseason. And we see it every time with this fucking lineup, man. We see it all the time. The home runs, the walks, they're fun. They have good numbers, right? But the strikeouts, they continue to haunt them. And that's going to happen again. Judge, Stanton, Sanchez, Voit, Frazier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those guys. All 5 of them. 25% K rate players. I think Voit is 24%, but you get the point. The league average, it used to be 20% until everybody started striking out. Somewhere between 20 and 23%, I believe, nowadays. These guys are all, worse than average when it comes to making contact with the ball. They strike out in 75% of their plate appearances, and that's pretty pathetic. Pretty pathetic. And that's where, that's 5 of your 9 fucking everyday guys. 5 of your 9 everyday, 5 of your 9 hitters. So 5 out of 9. Okay. So that's what? Over 50% of your lineup. Okay. So you're going through a lineup, guys who strike out at least once or twice a game. That's not good. Not in the postseason against elite pitching. No. That's going to lead to runners in scoring position failures, which we've seen year and year, again, time and time again. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. And speaking of power, we need to see something from Judge here. 30 plate appearances after tonight, since he's been back from injury. Not only 0 home runs, 0 extra base hits, and just 1 little RBI. No power yet. Couple of singles is all that's all we've got. I hope he's still not hurt, not saying anything. Excuse me. I hope that's not the case. But I'm telling you, it's not looking pretty. I would like to see something before October 5th. Can he flash a couple of extra base hits or maybe hit at least 1 home run in this final series against the Marlins? Show me something. But then again, maybe they'll flip that switch. Maybe they'll flip the switch. But 32 and 25, guys, I'm not loving their odds. It's just mediocre teams usually don't succeed in the postseason, and the ones with mediocre records probably had a second half of the season that where they tore it up. But that's not the case with the Yankees. They didn't tear it up. They had a 10-game win streak, sure, but their season has been very, very streaky all year. You look at the numbers. First 22 games, Yankees went 16-6. That's a 73% winning percentage. The next 20 games, 5-15. That's a 25% winning clip. The next 10, obviously, they were 10-0. And now the last 4, we've only won 1 of our last 5. We went 1-4. 20%. So we've had a very hot and cold, Jekyll and Hyde type of season. And it's because of that offense, that one-dimensional style of walking and hitting home runs only. It's because of that offense. Pitching staff has done it so far, right? Sure. but it's that offense. And I thought a very funny moment in this series was actually tonight, Game 4. Gary's almost grand slam, right, where he loads the bases. We load the bases for him, and his grand slam, I think, would have tied the game. And he hits it all the way to the warning track, comes about a foot or two short of a grand slam. And you see the Yankee dugout, they're just deflated. But I thought that was the perfect moment to describe this team. We wait for the home run. We wait for the home run to bail us out. Right? That's why I thought it was funny. Obviously, I was pissed off. I even hit my chair. But fucking, I did think it was funny because that's who we are. That is who the Yankees are. And that's who they've been for almost a decade now. And I think the lineup concerns, the flaws in this lineup need to be out there more. I'm always seeing the headlines, the NY Post, Elite NY Sports, whatever. All these headlines are reading about the Yankee rotation concerns. But I never see the concerns about the lineup, and their strikeout issues never make the headlines. I feel like that. I feel like people are talking about this rotation too much, which isn't perfect. The rotation to me, that's not to say I think this rotation is great. I don't think this rotation is too great either. Obviously you've got, Tanaka and Cole, who are great. Cole won 7 of his 10 decisions this season. A very solid, first year in pinstripes. And he's an elite superstar, proven in October too. So I think he'll be fine, next week or 2 weeks from now. And Tanaka too. Obviously, Tanaka's been excellent for the Yankees in the postseason. So I think he'll be good. Speaking of, that was his final start yesterday. Tanaka's final start before his free agency. That was his final regular season start. I swear to God, man, if the Yankees bring back James Paxton and not Tanaka, I'm going to be fucking off the rails pissed off. If they bring back Big Puss before they bring back Masahiro. But that's a story for a different day. We'll save that rant for another day when it actually happens. Hopefully not. But Tanaka and Cole, I'm comfortable with. It's everybody else who's up in air for me. Right. It's the regression to the mean that I'm worrying about coming soon with J Happ. He's been so good for a bit too long now where I feel like it's going to happen. And there's always that thought in the back of my mind where the last time Happ started a postseason game for the Yankees didn't go too well. Hopefully we don't get to a game 3 so he doesn't have to pitch. I don't think the Yankees have an official game 3 starter anyways, but eventually down the line, we're going to have to pitch more than 2 guys. And I just hope Happ can keep it together. He, to me, is a question mark. But there's also, Davy Garcia is a prospect, and prospects are unpredictable. I always say that. That's my little phrase. Prospects are unpredictable. You don't know what you're getting from them. They're young. They could be talented, but they're still unpredictable no matter who you are. You don't know. It's not nearly guaranteed he's going to pitch well for you, especially a 21-year-old in the postseason. And then Montgomery, I sure as shit don't trust Montgomery. Do you? He's not terrible. He's not bad. He's a good number 4, number 5. But number 4, number 5s aren't consistent. He had a very up and down, hot and cold regular season. He didn't really get the consistency. Now the analytics kind of favor him. A lot of soft contact, some unlucky hits. But regardless, he's had an unpredictable year, and I just want somebody like Tanaka, somebody like Cole, who I know is going to be that guy to shut it down. So it's the rotation I still am concerned about right underneath the lineup. Now the bullpen, listen, at least over the past few years, we've had a bullpen with star power. This year, I don't feel like we have that punch anymore. Even the pen's been unpredictable this season. The ERA of the Yankee pen is, I believe it's in the 20s. In terms of their placing amongst the 30 teams, the Yankees are 20-something. It's like 4-something. But between the injuries and some guys not coming through consistently this year, I don't know about them. I'm not a big Chad Green, Adam Ottavino, Aroldis Chapman guy. None of those guys really scare me this year. Chapman's had some bad moments. Ottavino just chokes every time he gets an opportunity to. And Chad Green, along with Ottavino, is a one-trick pony, one pitch. Chad is throwing his fastball 90% of the time. Ottavino's throwing his slider 90% of the time, which, again, that's not good. Opponents will take that pitch and just draw a bunch of walks on you, or they'll wait for it to land and then they'll knock it 450 feet like they did tonight. So yeah, it's them two or them three who I don't really trust. Britton I like. Britton I really trust because he's a ground ball pitcher. Throws a hard sinker. They like to call it a bowling ball sinker. But it's everybody else that's the three guys I mentioned and add in the number of second, third tier guys we often throw out there. I'm concerned a bit. I am. I don't think it's this scary bullpen that it used to be. Now the defense, again, not a good defensive team. Our fundamentals are pretty shit. We saw it again this week, rather, with Torres and Sanchez, who are just astronomically bad at their positions this season. Torres is now tied with 4 others for the most errors in the league at shortstop with 8. He also has the worst amongst all shortstops. According to Fangraphs, he has the worst defensive runs saved with -8. Sanchez is the second most in errors at the catching position with 4. And he's also second in passed balls with 5. 5 passed balls, just one below the league leader. I mean, Voigt's pretty bad at first base too. And the Yankees as a team, they have 43 errors, tied with Boston for second worst in the league. And they're 25th in the league when it comes to outs above average, which is a new analytical statistic. -8 outs above average has them 25th out of 30. Their defense is not pretty. They've got some guys who can make some nice plays. Urshela, LeMahieu holds it down. Aaron Judge, Brett Gardner. But everybody else, you kind of cringe when you see them field their position. So that worries me for the postseason. Sloppy defense, of course. You need defense. You don't want what happened on Wednesday to happen again in the postseason at all. The bench is not good. It's not been this next man up that we had last year. No. Wade is hitting one. I have it right here written down. It's just been a little production, low efficiency, nothing from the bench. Yeah, I have it written down. Tyler Wade, 171 with a 576 OPS, 98 plate appearances. Mike Tauchman, 242, 648, 111 plate appearances. Mike Ford, 135, 496 OPS, 84 plate appearances. Tyro Estrada, who I'm very disappointed in this season, 167, 460 OPS through 52 plate appearances. And then Miggy Andujar, who's also not with us at the moment, 242, 632, and 65 plate trips. I mean, very bad, very bad. The only two who've been producing off the bench has been the second and third tier catcher, which is funny because Gary's been so shit as the starting catcher. Daddy Kratz and Kyle Higgy have been doing pretty good off the bench on both ends of the field too. But that's really it, guys. I mean, we've got 3 more games of the regular season against Miami. It'll be Happ tomorrow, Garcia in game 2, and then Clark Schmidt is looking like we'll round off game 3. We'll round off the regular season, maybe audition for a postseason roster spot, for some bullpen depth, Clark Schmidt. Can we wrap it up with a win streak? Again, I know it may or may not translate into October, but I don't know. I like going into October with a rhythm regardless, just for comfort, personally. Also, it's just been such a weird, disappointing regular season for the Yankees, having so many peaks and valleys. And the valleys have been long, very long cold streaks. And that's why we're sitting at 32 and 25. The best we can do now at this point is win 3 in a row and have 35 wins, which I don't think that's under 100. It might be under 95 across a full season. Not sure. But yeah, man, it's not been pretty for the Yankees. It's been pretty boring lately. It's been pretty awful when it comes to these divisional games against the Rays and Jays. But let's just hope it changes. Let's just hope that things get better. I'm going to try to pull up this page here one more time. Here, this is fucked up, man. Look at this. The Tampa Bay Rays, the Oakland A's, the Minnesota Twins, the White Sox, and then the Yankees are 5th. They've got the 5 seed. So obviously, if you don't know by now, we're doing the NBA format this year for the postseason. I don't love it, but at this point, not worth complaining about. But the Yankees are 5th. They're 5th. 5th place. Fuck. So that means, let's see, if it ends today, if the season ended today, it's Tampa versus Toronto, Cleveland and Oakland, Minnesota and Houston, and the Yankees and the White Sox. Well, that's not, again, Giolito has been striking out batters left and right. Keuchel has had an outstanding bounce back season. And again, they have a solid bullpen. So and they've got a lineup. They've got a lineup too. Don't forget. So listen, we have to be on top of our game no matter who we face. We have to have the same mentality. Go out there and play Yankee baseball the way Yankee baseball should be played. The way the Yankee champions from the past played. They made contact, they hit homers, they played defense well, and they pitched well. They were a good all-around team. I know they're called the Bronx Bombers, but if you've actually watched their games, from 2009, from the late 90s, they were always a team who actually played really good all-around baseball. And we've just not seen that from the Yankees this season. So I'm concerned. Anything else? Let's head to the NYK question of the day as soon as we get back from break. Be right back. Hey guys, really quick, I just want to remind you that if you go to my website at nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com, you can find me on social media. You can find the links to my podcast and my blog. So that's all you got to do. Just go to my website, go to nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com, and there will be a page that displays all of my information. All right, guys, thank you. Let's get back to the show. All right. So last time out, excuse me, I asked you, what was it? Oh, what year was it when the Yankees first won the World Series? So that was the question for episode 158. And the answer to that question, what year was it when the Yankees won their first World Series? That was 1923 when they won their first title. Tonight's question is a bit similar, but different. Who did the Yankees face in their first World Series appearance? So who did the Yankees face, pay attention to the question, in their first World Series appearance? All right. So message me the answer or comment on Facebook or Instagram. Not on Twitter much nowadays, so just message me or comment on Facebook or Instagram. Again, one last time for episode 159, our NYK question of the day. Who did the Yankees face in their first World Series appearance? All right. So let me know the answer. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Always do. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hate it. I hate talking about the Yankees when they're losing. It sucks. But what are you going to do? You just hope that they start winning soon and they wrap up the regular season on a high note and they go into October and and maybe they shock me. Maybe they win the World Series this season. Maybe they do it all. But what the fuck? Let's get our shit together. That's it. That's all we've got. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is your host, Rob Carbone, episode 159 of the podcast tonight. Episode 159 of BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you for episode 160 after the season ends. So once the regular season ends in 3 days, we will do our podcast where we discuss the regular season and we discuss the postseason. It'll be like a little review / future outlook, talking about the postseason. It's going to be fun. But thank you for tuning in to episode 159. That's all I've got for this one. Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Ciao. This podcast is sponsored by Anchor.